I've been doing film for 20 years. I spent 15 of those years making horrible mistakes. And I'm going to keep making them because that's what being an artist is.
KI, wir müssen sprechen.
Der Podcast mit Anna-Sophia Lumpe und Sebastian Eck.
Herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge. Generative KI ist schon in den meisten Jobs angekommen. Bei vielen hat sie die Arbeit auch verändert. Wir wollen heute mit jemandem auf der anderen Seite des Atlantik klären, wie das in den Staaten läuft. Wo stehen wir da aktuell? Cedar Jones ist selbst Künstler und deswegen mit Anna und mir in einem Boot. Er macht Filme und sagt, die AI hat sein Leben verändert. Aber vor allem deswegen, weil er über die Heilsversprechen, die bei LinkedIn den ganzen Tag gepostet werden, eine Videoserie gemacht hat und deswegen sehr, sehr viel Zeit aktuell damit verbringt, uns so ein bisschen, ich würde sagen, humoristisch an die Sache ranzuführen. Anna, du hast das Ding entdeckt.
Ja, ich habe Keeping Up with the Disruptors gesehen und ab der ersten Folge war ich Fan und habe mir dann einmal die Woche 10 Minuten Video auf LinkedIn angesehen. Deswegen freue ich mich wahnsinnig, dass Cedar heute hier ist. Welcome to the show, Cedar. Great to have you.
I'm very honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
So we have to
the
switch
honor
to
is
English
all
again.
ours. Yes, this is
Okay,
going to be in
sorry.
English, guys.
I'm sorry I didn't brush up on my German for this interview. Sorry.
Well, you could have, but you could have used some AI tool, really. You know,
Yeah.
that would have been like
really?
super easy.
And I've heard that would have made everything that I said really accurate and friendly and no errors.
That's true, and the message would come across just better. You know, it's just better.
We'll get him next time. Round two, we'll get him. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Cedar, I already said in my introduction that I am a huge fan of Keeping Up with the Disruptors, which is it used to be your weekly, almost soap show on the AI disruptors on LinkedIn. Tell us a bit about the concept and how did you come up with that?
You know, it's funny. We have a joke in my house that I've been trying to become well known as a filmmaker for going on 20 years now. And the thing that will finally get me in the spotlight is me throwing up and swearing on camera while talking about AI. So, but,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. The idea came to me actually upon a bit of self-reflection because I found myself getting really activated by people on LinkedIn, you know, kind of gloating about how, this new technology it's the end of filmmaking. It's the end of traditional filmmakers. It's Hollywood disrupted. And I found myself doing something that I often fall into, which a lot of us fall into on the internet, which is arguing with people on the internet. Which is a complete... Can I swear on this show?
Sure.
Okay.
We're in Germany.
Okay, cool. It's a complete fucking waste of time to argue with people on the internet. And so I started doing, you know, an audit of how I could take all this negative energy that I was outputting into the universe and turn it into something where, you know, maybe I could make people laugh. So I devised this character who's kind of like a caricature out of 1950s America, news readings, you know, back in the day with the smoking cigarettes and reading the news live on the air. I'm a big fan of that era, and so there's a beautiful film that came out, I believe, in 2004, 2005 called Good Night and Good Luck.
Of course.
By George Clooney, and I love the way that they shot that film. And so I devised this character who could, you know, read the news, but it's the AI news, and just openly praise these ridiculous things that these people were saying. And really, I just wanted to make people laugh. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm sure we'll get into this. In the US right now, the economy is not so great. I personally have had a hard time finding work for the last 2 years, and so. For me, it was a way to create my own work and a way to be creative.
And it totally translated. I think that correct me if I'm wrong, but it really feels like a love letter to filmmaking. Apart from the content, which is, of course, making fun of this ridiculousness, but the way you do it, the way you structure the scenes, the the themes really seem like a bunch of wonderful film history put together. As you said, the newsreader from then, but then you have Lynchian aspects and like a little bit of science fiction in there. And I just enjoyed it as an expression of someone who is basically backed into a corner, like a lot of artists are at the moment, and using their voice and their tools to battle this new situation.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I mean, it's the only thing I can do about it. You know, I'm a big believer in focusing on the things we can control and leaving the rest up to the world. I didn't really set out in creating it to gain a following or to, you know, have people praise my filmmaking technique. But I do want to mention that in creating the series, I have a couple of rules for making each episode. And the rules are that I must film each episode within 3 hours.
Wow.
So I cannot eclipse a total of 3 hours in filming each episode.
With all your lighting, etc., etc. It's
everything.
Wow.
Did you make this rule or did your wife make this rule?
I made the rule. She, to her credit, she got dragged into the series
yes.
willingly, and I'm really glad she's become a part of it. But no, these are my rules for making it. But yeah, it not concepting wise, because it takes me time to go screen grab these LinkedIn posts that I'm going to feature in each episode, and you know, to organize them. So for more of the clerical stuff, I give myself more time. But for lighting, audio, filming, acting, etc., it must be within a 3-hour span. And then for the editing of each episode, I must not take longer than a 24-hour span to edit each episode. The reason that I did that is because the boasting that the AI bros do on LinkedIn is they talk about how quick and easy AI makes things. The whole thesis behind why I set these rules in place is to show that you can create high quality cinematic content within a very short span by yourself.
Oh, that's clever. You know what? We want to listen to a short sequence.
Characters, land scales. These disruptors are making up new words now. Atmosphere, all generated. Back then, months on effects. Months is such a disruptive way of saying years, which is how long it took to make The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but
who has years anymore?
Who has years anymore?
That's the message.
Maybe none of us.
Maybe not. Yeah, but I feel that I mean, your content gave me life, and no, content is a bad word in my your films gave me life because they spoke to my feeling on all these disruptors, as we call them, all those headlines and the way the technology is being pushed without any context. So, as you say, they keep talking about being quicker and faster, but there's never any examples of how real filmmaking is actually, how it actually works and how long it takes. We had the same thing with audiobooks, where there was a whole article stating how quickly you could do an audiobook with AI, and audiobooks were just going to be read by AI. And they didn't have a definitive answer how long it would take. They also had no price on it. They just knew that regular audiobook production would usually take a few weeks.
And they never spoke to...
That was what they said. And I just... And what you're doing is exactly that, you know, showing this... these claims without any proof, and basically kind of proving them wrong at the same time. And not just that, you did the show, but also because I followed you on LinkedIn, I, of course, also then saw all your comments on these posts. Where one of my favorite is, I love your post. Please tell me how many movies you've already produced or how often you've been on a film set, which is one of the most important questions, of course, with all these people that claim to know so much about filmmaking.
Yes, and there's another example of my condescending LinkedIn comments.
Well, but it does help. It does help because all the media is very condescending towards our professions.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, if we're gonna go down the route of picking sides, which I don't believe is a really healthy way to look at it, but for the sake of the conversation, I will. Yeah, they're making these egregious claims about filmmaking, and they've never worked on a film. Mm-hmm. When a plumber comes into your house to fix your toilet, do you stand over them and tell them they're using the wrong tools? Or do you let them do their job? Mm-hmm. Do you insist that they flush dynamite down your toilet in order to unclog it?
It's gonna go way faster.
Because it's faster, yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And we could talk for 10 hours summing up the crap that I've read and heard on the internet, but I think the true disservice is, I mean, everybody's afraid to look like they don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's the audacity of ego in capitalism. Everybody has to act like they're the top expert when truly none of us know anything. And so it's the fluffing up of oneself.
It's the emperor's clothes, really.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
But people who are definitely no artists and never have been now are talking about things they don't understand. I would never do this because it's like speaking about somebody's profession, which definitely is not mine.
I think it does touch on something that, at the risk of dehumanizing these people, I do want to touch on this. I do believe that at the end of the day, every human being has within them artistic expression. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the way that we see the world or whether it's how we perceive the world around us. It's a abstraction of our perception of the world. Mm-hmm. That can be what art is. And I see a lot of people who use AI tools saying, this has finally given me the opportunity to create all the images that are in my head. But the problem is that the output of the work is not the creativity, the process is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been doing film for 20 years. I spent 15 of those years making horrible mistakes. And I'm going to keep making them because that's what being an artist is. Mm-hmm. And that's the step that they are subverting, is the learning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it gets to me in a deeper context because for 8 years of my life, I struggled with homelessness. I know it's different in certain European countries. In the United States, we don't have a strong parachute for people who are struggling. Mm-hmm. We have a horrible homeless population here, and I was very lucky to get out of that. Mm-hmm. But I worked so hard and got so lucky to get out of that, and I am lucky to get to create art and make some kind of living out of that. Mm-hmm. And so to tell me that everything that I experienced more or less is all bullshit or unnecessary is just, it's very dehumanizing, and that can't be the way that we treat one another in society.
Definitely. That is my biggest problem with the whole thing, that art is treated like a product and not like a necessity. And I feel that there are humans who would do anything to make art, and they maybe are homeless at times and have a very maybe lower lifestyle because it doesn't matter to them that much. But making art makes them happy and is important. And then suddenly, big corporations come and say your art is, first of all, has no value, but it does have the value for us to feed into a machine, and you're not going to get compensated for it. And you're also not going to get asked if you're okay with this, and which is a complete it doesn't go together. Either it has no value, or you need to acquire it or ask permission, and both at the same time is really difficult. And it bothers me that the conversation has not yet shifted completely to asking who is benefiting from this, because the narrative that this is for us simply doesn't do it anymore, because it's not.
But it's a catchy masquerade, isn't it?
It's so
it's
catchy.
for us.
Yes, because
no, I mean,
music, making music's just not fun anymore.
Oh my gosh. There are several AI bros that I desperately hope to meet in real life. Mm-hmm. And the guy who, I can't even remember his name because all this stuff is just trash.
Guy.
It's the Suno guy, yeah.
Yeah, the Suno guy. Yeah.
I desperately hope to meet him someday and shake his hand and say, you're an inspiration to me because you've taught me just how wrong someone can be about something.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. But at the same time, not just wrong, but also deeply convicted in their wrongfulness.
Yeah.
Very self-confident. Yeah. It is amazing not to know a single thing about a process and still to be able to completely, make up a story about it and say it's the truth is really amazing.
And that's why that's one reason. This is the last thing I'll say about this. That's why I admire someone like a Rick Rubin, who's a music producer over here in the U.S. and he wrote a great book called The Creative Act, which I really loved. But he openly admits that he has no technical ability, that his skill is his taste, and he empowers other artists to make their work with his help.
Mm-hmm. Well, you made art, and what I really liked about it is that I felt like something positive was coming from all of this. And that is what we actually wanted to talk to you about, the ability of a true artist to, well, just like a flower in a little niche between two concrete blocks, it will grow if it wants to. And I feel that true artists will turn all this adversity into art. And did anything else come from this for you? Did you make new connections? Did you interact with other people who felt the same way? Did it impact your life positively?
I'm going to answer that in two parts because I want to say what it did for me first. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like therapy for me to make this. Not the smoking cigarettes part. I don't condone smoking cigarettes to anyone.
So much.
Even if they're fake cigarettes. I still haven't gotten the stink out of this office, which this is actually where I filmed the episodes. But it was therapeutic to me on a personal level because I struggle very deeply with, depression and feeling doom about the state of the world. And so it was kind of my way to compartmentalize and express. But I also had someone who is not a friend through LinkedIn reach out to me and say, I'm just shocked that these posts and these videos aren't raking in millions of views. Here are some tips on how you can get millions of views. And I said, thank you. I am more interested in the 10 genuine connections to people I could make from making this than a million empty eyes. And reducing the people in my sphere to mere numbers of followers. Fuck that. That's no way to live.
It's not a marketing tool for you and your business? Those videos?
No.
Sorry.
No, surprisingly, no. I don't have an angle on this. No, but I mean, getting to sit here and chat with the two of you, I've been invited onto a few podcasts and I've struck up, pretty cordial friendships with a few people who I don't think I would have connected with if I had not made this. And I think therein is the true benefit, is just connecting with people.
Cool.
Totally.
But no, it's lost me a great deal of money. No monetary value has been procured from keeping up with the disruptors.
Just you wait.
Oh, God.
Well, a few weeks ago, you announced that you were taking a step back from the project, which is also a very human thing to do. And humans are fickle beings, I guess. I totally understood your reasoning that you wanted to put something positive out into the world. And you said you would come back to the project at some point. How do you feel about it right now, and what is your process regarding the project?
I'm someone who falls really deeply into my work. When I create something, I kind of become obsessed with it, as I know many of us artists do. We live and breathe it. It becomes a part of our everyday lives. Mm-hmm. And I took a break, yes, because I was keenly aware of the fact that in order to create this thing, I have to be making fun of people. Mm. When at the end of the day, I think it's counterintuitive to view other people as anything other than our fellow human, no matter their input into our lives or their perspectives. But I also put it on pause because I went down to California and shot a short film with a couple of friends of mine, and I really wanted to give that the time and attention that it needed. I was the director of photography on that, and it was a really fun project. And I knew that I kind of needed to put my other projects on the shelf in order to focus on that one. Now that that's over, there is a plan to bring Disruptors back. Mm-hmm. However, there have been two films I've watched this year that I absolutely fell in love with. One is Sinners by Ryan Coogler, and the other one is 28 Years Later by Danny Boyle. Mm-hmm. And upon watching those films, I fell so deeply in love with them that I didn't want their filmmaking style to become mine. I wanted to kind of let how inspired I was by their work flush out of my system before I got back into creating my own work. But that being said, within a couple weeks, I'm going to be back to filming Disruptors.
Well, we're very much looking forward to that. At least I am. And I hope our listeners are going to tune in and check out. We have like 8 episodes right now. Seven or 8 episodes. I'm not sure. Seven episodes. And yeah, it gets freakier every day. So how's your wife in all this? I mean, in the episode, she kicked you out because you were just watching the Disruptors. Are you guys okay? Are you doing all right?
Never better. But it's funny because we don't write scripts for the show. We just kind of riff off each other, and there is a bit of truth in the fiction, as it were. Like, you know, my wife is the breadwinner in our household. She is very successful. She works very hard. And she's definitely been the predominant support for me the past year. As I've kind of gone through the struggles I've gone through. So there is like that taking our real life struggles where our relationship is fine, it's great, but we're sort of using Disruptors as an avenue to abstractly represent how frustrated we are with the world, and then just turning that into comedy. So no, I think she still loves me. We can go ask her if you want.
Bring her in. No, I think it's wonderful that she joined you in that project, and it was just like, I mean, of course, I don't know you, I don't know either of you, but at the same time, it felt so real, you know, fictional real, and just very a loving project for all of us, really. So, but as you said before, it came also from a situation that was very difficult. How have you been dealing with the real disruption of your industry in the last 2 years?
I've been cooking a lot of bread.
What's not to like about that?
Yeah. But no, I'm very lucky to have a lot of people don't have this, a partner that supports their endeavors, and gives them that network, you know, and that sort of, like I was talking about earlier with the broader US, like Jesse is my parachute. to focus on my career. So, within that time, I've been working on my own projects. I directed a short film last year, which stars Paul Schulze, who is in The Sopranos, which just finished. It's not a comedy, it's a horror film. And I'm very, very enthusiastic about that getting into film festivals. So Jesse was very supportive of me doing that. And then there's Disruptors, a couple other film projects that I'm working on. And I'm actually in the finishing stages of writing a novel. And so I'm currently editing that. A lot of people don't know that, actually, that I'm also a writer. So I'm trying to finish that right now as well.
Wow.
And
so
I worry that didn't really answer your question. I'm still doing the submit job applications to 9-to-5 jobs, and freelance work comes in from time to time, but it's been very slow.
And do you feel like there really was an impact or is an impact because of AI, or is it the recession, the bad economy? Because we have been dealing with a lot of people who keep pushing this idea that they're not working because of AI. And when you look closer, there are many people who maybe not have been in the best position before. So that AI basically was the last straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I can only speak from personal experience and the experience of people whom I know. A lot of my friends are really struggling. Many of my friends have not worked in 2+ years. I know of an editor in Los Angeles who's a pretty big editor. He worked on the Garfield movie, which perhaps and maybe hopefully your audience has not seen. God forbid. But that's a pretty big gig, and he works at Trader Joe's now.
Oh well,
really?
And yeah, I mean, there's a very real impact, I think, that's being felt industry wide. That is definitely being. It's the perfect storm, I guess, is the best way to put it. Is the economy, the strikes that happened due in large part to AI. And just overall in general, I mean, I think things are not great over here right now. I mean, we have a president who doesn't give a shit about his people, and we don't need to get into that. But I mean, we have elected politicians that openly show contempt for their constituents, and they're not really looking economically to represent us. So that's a big component too. We just passed a terrible piece of legislation between the House and Senate that is deeply going to impact everyday Americans. And yeah, it seems like we're circling the drain pipe of things getting worse and worse. So a lot of my friends who have struggled, I think it's just going to keep getting worse. And I think more and more people are going to start to struggle. And I mean, for it's funny that you're in Germany, because my wife and I have made a potential exit plan from the US. If things keep getting worse, and Germany is on our short list. So
I think we're on the list of a lot of people.
Yeah.
We lost a few.
Artists.
No, artists,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, how do you stay fit mentally?
I exercise is a big. I'm sorry, I can't do the conversion between kilos and pounds right now, but I lost 30 pounds this past year.
Let me Google that.
Through exercise, if you want to translate that for me. And I read many books. I am a voracious reader, which is becoming a rarity in the United States, unfortunately, people who read books. But I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and I sit in my chair right over here in the corner, and I read for 30 minutes to an hour. And it keeps me sane.
How do you see your future? Are you? I mean, you said you have an exit plan, but that's like also proactive. That is not somebody who will just submit to their destiny, And so, do you? Even though you say it is difficult, it is hard. There's all kinds of situations that are not pleasant. Do you keep your hopes up or are you? You said you struggle with mental health, but are you fine? Are you okay? Or do you think you can overcome all this? We can overcome all this, or is it like basically there's nothing we can do?
You know, there's a quote from a film I love called The Shawshank Redemption, in which the main character says, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever truly dies. Mm-hmm. I might be paraphrasing that, but I think human history teaches us that there's always been a crisis. Mm-hmm. There has always been a great unknown. We might be in a period of, I'm trying not to use the word disruption. There has always been
so much to use these days. Yeah.
Yes. There has always been
destruction.
A crisis. Yeah, destruction is a good word. There has always been a crisis. I often try and put myself into the heads of a young man being drafted to go fight in the Vietnam War, mm-hmm. or a peasant during the Black Plague, mm-hmm. or a black person during American slavery. How would they have felt? They might have felt pretty hopeless about the future. So it is my duty to not give up on a view of a positive future, because it's the responsibility of the people who care to build a better world. Mm-hmm. And that's often how it starts. Often social progress doesn't come from big sweeping movements. Sometimes it comes from a group of people in a room talking about ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think if you put it in perspective, like you just did, those 3 examples, what we have over them is that we're very much in control. And we have options, I feel. And I think we should use that power. We should use our voices all together. If we all stand up and say that something is wrong, I think we are able to make a change.
Totally, 100%. And I think that's another side of the coin when I talk about, for instance, my family leaving the U.S. is, mm-hmm. I think it's important to be aware of what's going on in one's own country. Mm-hmm. But also, if you really believe in something, you stay and fight for it. Mm-hmm. So it's a duality that I struggle with a lot. Is mm-hmm. if I really love this place, which I'm not sure I do, but my family hasn't even lived in the U.S. for 100 years, mm-hmm. and so I don't know if leaving it would be a return to normality. Mm-hmm. But I do love many people who live here, mm-hmm. and if I left, I might be giving up on them. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a struggle thinking about leaving and giving up on a place versus taking care of myself, which I view as maybe a little bit selfish.
It's difficult to make that decision. Mm-hmm. But again, you cannot help other people if you can't help yourself first. So sure. I have to say, I'm really happy you did this project, and I very much hope you continue to do it, because I think it can inspire people to take their tools that they have and make a difference, and just do things. Like we had our friend Tim on the show last season, Friedlander, and he held up a pencil and he said, well, if you want to be creative, this is what you need. This is the only thing you need. And he's right. He's right. I mean, I like it even better now that you told us that you do it in 3 hours. So, yay for the fast humans.
Yeah. Well, I love the pencil metaphor. It is true what they say: the pen is mightier than the sword.
Definitely.
But yeah, I view it. It is our solemn duty as human beings to create art. We've been doing it since we painted on the walls of caves 20,000 years ago. Mm. We've always been doing it. It's a part of the soul of what we are, and that goes beyond what capitalism calls it. Mm. Capitalism doesn't define art. It's like oil and water. And so, yeah, it is the duty of artists to perpetuate our art into the world.
Show a different perspective and maybe inspire people to question things.
And maybe me vomiting on myself will wake people up. It's funny. It's a funny story, actually. about that when I did that bit in episode 3, where I was reading a post from a guy who used AI to create ads from some woman's art she made for her child.
Oh, it was that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And when I read that in real life, I felt like I was going to throw up, so I put it in the episode. Mm-hmm. And I made this vomit concoction out of chunks of bread, coffee, and coconut oil.
Looked very good.
Yummy.
And I threw up on my computer, and I put a towel over my computer. But it wasn't enough, and I destroyed the computer.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
$1,000 episode.
Yes. So there's a very good chance in the future that in order to keep creating these, I might create a Patreon, like a paid subscription page. But there have been a lot of casualties in this house from my stupidity.
Oh my God. Well, no wonder your wife joined in the fun and kicked you out.
And she was like, you fucking idiot. You did what?
AI made me do it.
AI made me do it.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because I think that might be one of the least viewed episodes. They're all pretty unviewed, but I don't care about that. But I think that one is one of the least viewed. And I think that's the extra joke there, is that the one where
absolutely
destroyed my shit is the episode nobody cared about.
Thank you for this fact.
You have to put that in there, a little bit of lore.
Yeah. Well, hey, again, like there's a great metaphor for why film and art should be created by people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is then you can talk about the process. Like Cedar did this stupid thing.
Yes.
And now we all laugh about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about it now, so no, everybody who listens knows this, but you should really tell people that you do this in 3 hours.
And you should give away this broken Mac, because this episode will get viral. So it's such a huge impact on your marketing skills to give away those. Oh, okay, come on.
Yeah,
I'll sell that and the vomit jacket that I threw up on.
It's very good. It's awesome. It's going to be amazing. You're going to make so much money.
Oh God. But yeah, you're the first people I'm telling this to, other than my wife, actually. But when Disruptors is coming back, like I said, in a couple of weeks, mm-hmm. and it will be quite a bit more deranged. Mm-hmm. I think that's one reason I haven't gotten back to it yet, because I really wanted to maximize my filmmaking efforts around it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But I think that's what makes it great. So I'm just trying to come up with new filmmaking techniques for how I can make it its maximum stupidity and make people laugh.
It's so much fun. And it's so much fun. I mean, as a viewer, I see that you're having fun. And that's just great to watch. And I think that is what people really don't understand, that even if you're not a filmmaker, I think the process is so interesting. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if I watch a video of somebody doing something amazing, like sports or whatever, if they didn't do it themselves, why would I watch it? Because there's nothing special about, contortionists that don't do it themselves, that are just animated. The amazing thing is the learning and being able to do something.
I think that might have been the most deranged thing I have seen from a tech bro talking about AI is AI-generated gymnastics.
Why?
I mean, boy, did you miss the point of gymnastics.
Well, I also thought that it would be amazing if food critics wouldn't have to eat anymore, and they could just have the food be analyzed, and the critique writes itself, and you don't have to go to the restaurant, you don't have to eat anything. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, if we could all just live our lives in these glass boxes and not interact with one another, that would create so much profit opportunity for OpenAI. I think we should probably pursue that.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll get right onto it.
Yeah. And I do think I say that, and I know this is opening a can of worms, but I do think that's the ulterior motive with AI. I mean, I read it beautifully summed up as robbing the working class of their agency to create work that earns a wage and giving the skill of that labor for free to the wealthy. And I do not think that is a sustainable model for our society to function on.
It's not a sustainable at all. I mean, a society works on, a non-written contract, really. And the moment you break that, all hell will break loose. But people don't understand it yet, I think.
Well, I think I saw a comment on, I think it was YouTube, because I was watching a video about how AI slop might ruin the internet. And someone wrote, well, it works for me, so I don't care. And that really put into context how some people feel about it. What a baffling perspective.
Tech billionaire Elon Musk is literally poisoning Memphis for his AI data center. I mean, that says everything, doesn't it? So
yes, it does. And I think that's another interesting component of the whole situation is that we've politicized in the US wealth. So there is a voter base here that sides with Elon Musk and defends him because he aligns with a certain political party. I know that's in flux right now, and there's a whole bunch of, soap opera drama going on between him and Trump, which is just a smokescreen for other stuff. But there are people in this country, we just saw some of them yesterday, who have MAGA stickers and SpaceX stickers side by side.
Wow.
And people will say it's fake. They'll see that news coming. They'll see that data centers pollute water sources. They'll see that these companies are ruining towns, and they'll say, no, it doesn't affect me. I don't care.
Yeah.
We have a friend whose name I'm not going to name drop, although that would be really funny. We're going to be living back in LA in a couple months, but we're currently in Seattle, which is a major tech hub in the US. And one of our friends here is in the dating scene. She is a young lady who's trying to find love. And she says she goes to these, events, these like meet and greet events to maybe meet a potential other or a significant other. And the lack of social skills that she witnesses is bleak.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to slam dunk on anybody who doesn't have social skills. I think it can be a learned skill, but I think we have to create an environment where people are learning skills. Because we are in a crisis right now of people, at least in the US, people coupling up and starting families. Which isn't to say all women should just exist to give birth. No, I think we're in a really brilliant time right now where women are being empowered to enter the workforce and be the breadwinners. I mean, my wife is one of them, but I also think we're losing opportunities to meet and mate and have families and be social because we just do this. That's not really about keeping up with the disruptors. Sorry, but that's my that's my soapbox.
Your disruption.
So now we have to ask your wife to do the final words. Okay.
You want my wife to do that? Yeah, perfect. I mean, that would be very fitting.
No.
She is brilliant, though. She's fucking brilliant.
I'm sure she is.
Thank you very much for your time.
And we're looking forward to the next season of Disruptors. Everybody check it out. And listen to you next time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
Die nächste Folge dann wieder auf Deutsch. Wir freuen uns, wenn ihr mit dabei seid. Ihr könnt euch jederzeit einklinken. ja@wirmüssensprechen.de ist unsere E-Mail-Adresse für Kritik, Anregungen, Vorschläge. Vielleicht wollt ihr auch eine unserer nächsten Gäste oder Gästinnen werden. Dann immer melden und, ganz wichtig, Podcast abonnieren, damit ihr die nächste Folge nicht verpasst. Bis dahin, alles Gute.
Ciao.